What up, y'all? Justin Gay, Seeds of Xanadu. Here we are, man. Summer. Summer as hell. It just kind of just showed up on us. This time of year, growing greens is very hard. I shouldn't say very hard, just more challenging, just because we have a lot of heat. A couple of things that make it hard are that one, meaning keeping everything as moist as we possibly can, especially when you're dealing with such a shallow rooting crop as lettuce or other kind of leafy greens. Another reason it's kind of rough to start growing around this time is because of the pest. Kind of rewind back to a couple months ago, I had kind of given Dr. Earth's insecticide a bit of a not so good review. After speaking with one of the reps, it started to make a little bit more sense to me. So, I don't know if you guys can read that. Most of the ingredients in this stuff are things like rosemary, sesame, peppermint, thyme, garlic, cinnamon, if I didn't say that already. None of those things really kill insects, but what they do to insects is throw off the smell. It makes it to where the insect doesn't really want the plant anymore. It's kind of just masking it, if you will. Spoke with the rep, and then it started making perfect sense to me. This stuff isn't an insect killer as much as it's a insect deterrer. I guess technically it's an insect killer, especially when you're dealing with cutworms and whatnot. It's not a direct kill, which I think most of us, myself included, look for when they see insecticide. I'm looking for, like when I'm dealing with an insecticide, organic of course, I'm looking for something that's gonna hit and just kill what it is that I'm hitting. In this case, my cutworms. Give it a shot again. If for whatever reason this doesn't work, I do have some other stuff in the house. Organic, of course, but more of a direct kill type method for any kind of outbreaks. I know a lot of you guys out there are screaming like, insect netting, insect netting. The thing with insect netting out here, unfortunately, man, if I were to remove it during the times I can actually farm this plot, there's no need for me to have the insect netting on there. Immediately, cabbage loopers hit. Immediately, different moths hit the greens. I mean, within seconds, guys. Right now is the main time for me to actually be kind of doing this stuff because as you see, there's no white moths floating around. It's pretty easy. But for the most part, I can't get out here. This is a great time for me to garden. I love gardening at this time. But a lot of times I can't get out here, at least not consecutively enough to where I feel comfortable to try to do this. I mean, we've even started leaving the netting on just pretty much all day, all night. For the most part, I mean, we still do remove it. It's been hot as hell out here, man. It's like we're getting into the hundreds easy. You know, we're gonna be this way for the least the end of August. But anyhow, gonna give this stuff a shot and see how it works. This is gonna be harvested in the next couple of weeks. But what's crazy is the cutworm, they actually lay the eggs. It seems to grow right alongside this, right alongside the salad green, meaning your lettuce greens will look great until it's time to harvest, right? So keep an eye on these guys, nice and thick, right? There's these little spots right here, but that's lack of watering. I already fixed that now. But check out this bed. See these big spots? That, if I am not mistaken, is cutworm damage. I went through earlier today and started weeding out this thing, and I was finding tons of signs of cutworms. It's cutworm. Well, I'm just playing. I was finding cabbage loopers. I was finding all kind of stuff like that in there. See all that? That's just straight up dead vegetation from them eating it. That's one of the downfalls, unfortunately, of having to cover up your beds. You can't see what's going on. You can't leave them open because if you leave them open, more of the birds come down here and actually help you out quite a bit with some of these issues. But when you cover them, there's no access, right? So it kind of sucks. Oh yeah, another thing that I've been doing too, or that I'm doing now, is especially with the arugula, I switched it over to a wild arugula. I never realized just how much smaller it comes in, but it's a way smaller seed than your culinary or your slow bolt arugula. It's coming in really good. I have a lot of faith in this stuff. A little bit more expensive, the seed, but Dude, look at this stuff, man. Small, compact, and like knows how to survive. This is a wild arugula, so it's more, hopefully it's gonna be a little bit more tough. We'll be running this wild arugula at least until it starts cooling down. Then we'll go ahead and transfer back over. At least that's the plan. We'll cross back over to our slow bolt arugula. The reason I'm kind of optimistic for it this time around is because the last time we were actually getting nailed by cutworms. We were starting to lose salad heads. And of course, it was cutworms. I started seeing cutworms all over the place. Anyhow, I sprayed that stuff, ultimately ended up having a full crop of Salanova. What makes me kind of second guess that, if you will, I didn't see a lot of butterflies. I haven't seen a lot of the cabbage loopers and all that stuff. We've had a really weird summer so far, and spring. To me, it kind of felt as though we got thrown off, you know, a little bit. So things aren't really where they should be. I feel like now they're starting to get there. The pests are starting to come out more, and now we're starting to see what's going to happen. Another one of the major pests that we normally get around here are Brigada bugs. Now I've definitely seen them here, but they're in way lower numbers than I've ever seen them ever. I don't know if that means that they're now setting up shop, and next year that they're going to be worse. So hopefully this stuff helps deter them off as well. They do seem to be affected by the insect netting, so maybe we will end up putting insect netting on for the Brigada bugs. It was crazy. All winter I didn't see even one. You normally see at least one or two. I didn't see any all winter long, so I'm not sure. They are definitely here now, but way smaller numbers. Another thing that I've also seen with the Brigada bugs, and I'm not exactly certain, but they seem to attack or be heavier or heaviest when your plants maybe not be getting the optimum amount of water that the plant needs. So if you're letting your plant dry out, that may be why they attack a little bit more. Just think about, you know, on the sides of the freeways, all that mustard. I believe that's what they're after. I've seen them on that like crazy. So I'm pretty sure that's kind of what's fueling their numbers here in the area. Yeah, that's why they're going after our mustard greens and all that kind of stuff that we have here. But when I do keep them watered and hydrated a lot more, it seems to be they're not attacking as much. This might be something that can bite you in the butt next year. I don't really want to chance it, but I haven't really seen any crazy numbers. Hopefully we won't have to spray anything more. The one big issue that we do have is nowadays we actually are watering 3 times a day, and we overhead water back here. So that makes me feel like maybe the stuff might get washed off. That's right now is a really good time. It's gonna have clear until tomorrow morning before these get watered again. So hopefully the essential oils can actually just kind of start getting into the plant and make it to where these bugs no longer find them appealing and begin to die off. Fingers crossed. The one thing that does suck is this bed right here. It's just now at the stage in which you start to see the damage of cutworm. Very minimal. It's just very minimal. You won't even know that it's them. And then, like I said, about time this thing is full grown, like that bed over here, it looks like that bed over there. It looks like, you know, it's starting to get wiped out. Everything's thinned up. There's actual pieces of that mix that are missing, like the lettuce mix that's kind of out of there. We'll get a harvest out of this thing tomorrow anyway. I got a restaurant that I know I can take that. It doesn't look too bad, but at least I know I can get something out of it. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope this helps. Thanks so much for supporting the channel. Don't forget to share these with your friends. Let people know about the channel. If there's anything you guys like to see me cover, I'm more than down to do it. I'm Justin Gay. This is the Seeds of Zanzibar.